I finished steaming this morning, so not everything is like trying to clear out.
Yes, I was watching the stories. I might actually ask you a question as a from a vocalist to a vocalist. I'd love to know those clean, like cleansing, steaming tips. I see them all the time, but I never know how to use them. But anyway, thank you everyone who is joining the live at the moment. I'm just going to give a quick intro for what this series is about. Last year, I ventured into music for the first time. At 29 years old, I felt like I didn't know
Mm.
much about music. I did chemistry as a subject, didn't know anything. So I even started singing for the first time last year. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey. But what the purpose of this series is to try and get to know what longevity means in a career, in an industry that is
Mm.
so volatile, so moving constantly from one way to another. So I want to kind of give you a bit of an introduction, Yummy, because I think you need the flowers that you deserve.
Oh
Like
man.
honestly, I was reading up on all the work that you've done, and it is fantastic. I'm so blown away with how much you've been able to achieve.
Wow.
It's incredible, you know, writing and recording background for huge stars like Diddy, Christina, Mary J. Blige, Busta Rhymes, Monica, and these are just to name a few. This is just touching the surface. But beyond that, I thought what was super, super success, like inspiring to me, was you being, you know, the youngest CEO, um, and also, you know, the youngest record executive, first female even as well. I think that's incredible, and I hope people who are watching this and watching this back really do give you the props, because in an industry at the time that you were is completely different to where it is now. So the struggle then was 100 times more. So I feel like hats off to you. So inspired by the work that you do, and have done. And you should really be proud of what you've been able to achieve. So I just wanted to give you all those flowers before we
Thank
begin.
you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
How was it? I mean, let's begin like at the start of your career. What's the earliest memory you have when you got into the industry?
Oh, excuse me, if you see me turn my head periodically, I'm checking on my 2-year old because she
Yes.
stole the baby monitor. So I couldn't even be in a room and watch her from the room because she knows how to climb up on things and run away with them
Ah,
like the Grinch. So and she really does like the little hunch shoulders and tips over. It's
okay.
hilarious. But I just feel really blessed and privileged to have been able to work with certain artists and producers like that, like Diddy, like Christina, like Busta. Like I learned from every artist that I worked with. Um, when it comes to longevity in the game, you can't predict longevity, but you can only focus on remaining who you are, um, not compromising your creativity and individuality, and con- continuing to just work, just constantly working,
Right.
and finding out, you know, where to network and who are the who's in the game that you need to be connected to, because they're the ones who always have, you know, business coming through their doors. Um, at the same time, you do have to apply yourself to being aware of what's current. I hate using the word relevant because you
Right.
can flip and bend that so many ways, and it kind of depreciates certain people and certain times and styles and things like that. But you have to just stay in the know on what's current so that you can still apply your individuality to what's popping now and not necessarily conform at the same time. There's a fine line in between conforming and blending, or staying in the mix. But
Yeah.
I just always focused on my craft. I just always focused on how do I better my pen, who are some of the greatest writers, or who are some of the most highest paid writers, because some of the highest paid writers were not always the dopest writers either. They just had
Right.
opportunities that got them to work with certain, people on certain projects and put them in really high positions. So you got to just really educate yourself and always stay a student.
Right. Did you ever find that actually working for your own projects kind of early on in your career and even now as well as you work on writing material for yourself, was that ever different to working for some of these A-lists? Did you ever have like a bad experience or did they get a bit too, because you know with creatives they get a bit like this is my stuff, you know, like this you're entering my space. So did you ever experience that and how did you deal with it?
I most definitely did. Um, one of my one of the things that worked against me a lot is my age. Like most of the artists I wrote for were much older than me. And I also vocal produce. Hi, mommy's over here. Um, I vocal produce the artists that I write for, and that was always the deal. Like Yummy's not writing on the project if she can't be in control of the arrangement.
Right.
So when they would meet me, because they could hear that I was young, I have a little voice. But when they
Hmm.
met me, they were like, I don't know who this little girl thinks she is coming in here trying to sit at this SSL board. It's like she's gonna tell me what to do on my session. And I
Mm,
would come without an ego. I would come very humble. I'm here to serve and help. But even still, that wasn't enough sometimes for certain artists to just be receptive of me. So I definitely caught a lot of flack for my age. But once I start working, because I'm not concerned about my age, I'm concerned about executing what I'm here for and getting it done and making you sound your absolute best and honestly better than you've been sounding on anyone else's record. Because I don't want to
right.
leave until
Yeah.
that's done because my name is on this.
Yeah. I mean, then being yourself at the time when you were young, you know, I mentioned being like 18 years old actually when you became sort of the youngest female CEO and record exec. How did you face those challenges when you were young? Like to say, actually, no, I don't have the experience, but I know what I'm talking about because, you know, I have that skill. So how was that challenge?
Well, I actually that's what they were appalled by. That I had the experience so young. Like I was
Right.
a seasoned musician and artist by the time I was 18. Um, yeah, but the way I dealt with that was to just not necessarily be offended. I would just transfer that energy into the music. You know, I get
Absolutely.
lost in the music. I would learn the artist really quick because when you're an actor, you have to learn the muse and you
Right.
have to become the muse, right? So I would learn an artist really fast and I would do them on the record that they wanted to do. So I'm like, okay, we could do it like you like to do because I hear your comfort levels and I'll sing them how they sound. But then they're
Right.
like, well, that doesn't sound like the reference you did. So I kind of want to do what you did. Yeah, because I came here
Right.
to add the sprinkles and berries and all the little
Yeah.
rainbows. So let me do what I do. I would
Right.
just show them that they could trust me. And
Yeah.
at the end of it all, the my age wasn't even a factor.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed actually I caught your live uh a
Oh, over there.
couple of days ago. Don't worry, that's okay. She's also a mum, guys. Like that's a superwoman
I'm
right
a
there.
stay-at-home mom, okay?
That's
You
cool.
wouldn't be
No, no, no.
seen.
Cool.
Okay,
You
you
can
can
say
be seen for
hi.
2 seconds. Say hi. Say
Hi.
hi.
Hello. What's your name?
Her name is Patience. She
Patience.
has absolutely none. I love you. Yes, I love you so much. Yes, mommy love you so much. I'm not going anywhere. So please play with your toys right there.
No, that's. I
I
mean,
think her
okay. Even
show
even
stopped.
on that, even on
I can
that.
hear
Don't
you. I got
worry.
my AirPods in.
Don't worry.
Here you go. Boom. Back in action.
Wow. See, just like that. She can
Back.
join if she wants anyway. But what I was going to say, because on that, actually, you're also a mum, which requires quite a lot of strength and perseverance. And I noticed also when I caught your live a couple of weeks ago, I think, or maybe it was last week, days are blending in now, but you do exude that a lot in your lives and just in your aura as a person and what you put forth to your fans. Where do you get that from? And what would your advice be for people who struggle with that?
What do I exude? I'm sorry, I didn't really get the
Strength,
question.
strength, and
Oh,
and and
strength?
really like yeah, and perseverance in kind of working hard and doing your thing.
I was raised by strong women. and strong men. And my family, I've been mostly raised by my father's side of my family, but they teach strength and they teach and train perseverance, and they encourage us to dig a little deeper and always understand someone's situation is worse than yours and how blessed you are to be struggling with a thing. And how do you look at a struggle as a blessing? Well, it's just like anything that has weight to it, it's going to take a little muscle to hold it and to lift it. But are you going to be afraid of the weight because it's heavy? Or are you
Mm,
going to challenge yourself to take on the weight and make the weight lighter because you don't mind going to the through the pain to gain more
right.
strength? So, especially being an artist, oh my God, being an artist very, very young, I was in boot camp pretty much with KG from Naughty by Nature. Hey sis, I see my sis in here. I was in boot camp with Naughty by Nature and the girl group The Rain, and they weren't just focused on us being pretty girls and having, beautiful voices. They were focused on us being the full package. So what that meant was we're going to be able to dance, sing, write. We can
Right.
produce if we want. We can act if we want. Because when these opportunities come our way, we want to be able to fit in everything. And I
Mm,
think that's what's missing from most artists today, because they don't have the blueprint of artist development. They just
right.
have platforms and they have endorsements and sponsors and they have a following, and they think that that's enough to last in the game. That's
Right.
enough to get you started and to get you fizzing right now. But that fizz can go very flat really quick if there's no other dimension to you.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, look at the platforms now. We have TikTok, which is so like very quick absorbing material. You can be hot and popping one day, next day nobody knows who
Hey
you are.
Shay, I
Hey,
see my
hey, everyone joining. No, thank you so much for the comments. If you do have any questions, actually, do hit them up in the comments.
yes please.
On the point of kind of being an artist that's well rounded, have you noticed also in industries like, I guess you can kind of connect it to K-pop and J-pop,
Yeah.
they do intense training, which is
Oh yeah.
sometimes criticized in a way because, the artist kind of lifestyle isn't the best. But do you think that training that you've had at the start has kind of helped you get where you were, or do you feel you've learned through experience?
Absolutely. The training has applied to my life as a whole. When I've encountered any other struggle, I didn't necessarily run from it. It caused me to run into it because I
Right,
wanted to see what I can handle. And you don't really know until you put yourself to the test, and you don't want to fail the test. So you try to be your best as much as possible to pass the test and not just pass it, but pass it with flying colors. So um, that training has it can work both ways, and this is what I mean. Sometimes that training, the con of it, can cause you to dismiss yourself,
right.
where you treat yourself like a machine and not a person,
Mm,
which can be very harming to you emotionally, mentally, physically, because you may push yourself beyond limits, and that can, you can overexert yourself, you can be exhausted, you can be burnt out, and burnout is not good.
yeah,
Burnout is hard to recover from sometimes, but it has more pros than it does cons, because look at us in a pandemic, you know
yeah.
a lot of us aren't able to even handle the pandemic, let alone deal with COVID. So if you
Mm,
didn't even catch COVID, but just the quarantine and the restrictions on life is just too much pressure for you to handle.
mm,
Everybody's tolerance level is different, but the more you strengthen yourself,
yeah,
the more you have a spiritual foundation, and you have a centering in your life, you can pretty much prepare yourself to take on anything.
yeah.
and,
No,
and
I
that's
think
exactly what I try to encourage.
I think that's a great message. I think for me, on a personal level, actually, that was almost the trigger to get into music. I think it was a bit
Mm,
like, oh, I'm feeling shit. Sorry, if the
No,
kids are
you're
around.
fine. You're good.
You know, I'm feeling like horrible. I never had any issues with mental health, but for the first time, I felt that imbalance. I felt that kind of like, oh, I don't actually know what this feeling is, like this depressive feeling, this congested feeling, this being stuck in and stagnant feeling. And music
Hmm.
was a way to be able to express myself. I was like, actually, let me just put this down. I've never done this before, but let me find a release and somewhere where I can find an outlet to these feelings. And it was amazing. I think it was such an incredible thing, and that's been the thing that's helped me connect with others. Like, actually, when they listen to my music, cool, you know, oh, it sounds great, you sound great, I didn't know you could sing, and all this stuff. But then you get those messages where, like, oh my God, those words meant so much to me because I was feeling exactly the same way. So it is so powerful to be able to kind of take a step back and understand that actually I need to take this break and I need to find something to heal and move on. So I think that's a great message. I mean, in your career, have you ever had moments where you're like, oh, this is not going to work for me and I need to try something new? I'm sure you have because you've had such a long
Plenty of
career,
time.
you know.
Plenty. First of all, I'm proud of you, and I want to
Thank
commend
you.
you for choosing a healthy outlet. You know, because we have access to too many unhealthy outlets and vices, that we've been using as coping mechanisms rather than to build and strengthen ourselves to overcome these situations. So I commend you, and I'm proud of
Thank
you
you.
for that.
Thank
Um,
you.
and I encourage you to stay the course. As far as myself, I went live. As far as recent times, I went live last summer, like the end of summer 2020, and I was good through most of the pandemic. Her show stopped. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Patience, patience. Um, I went live and I was a mess. I was starting to feel all of that pressure from being confined, and I was like, you know what, guys, I love y'all, but I can't do this. I
Mm,
can't do this anymore because I just started working on my project. I would just get my body and everything together after having the baby. And I'm ready to perform. I'm ready to hit the stage and just
you're
go
right.
full throttle. And now we can't even go anywhere. We may never have concerts again. I was
Right.
becoming overwhelmed by the idea that I'll never be able, hey D, I'll never be able to be on a stage because I'm the type of artist that has to perform. Like
Right.
that's my outlet. I'm a lab rat. Yes, I can live in the studio day and night, never leave. At the same time, once that, beautiful composition is together, the people have to feel it in their
Yeah.
face, and that's me. Like I grew up going to dancing school at 3 years old. We would have recitals every year. So it's like you do all that work because you look forward to that one show at the end of the year to perform everything that you learn and release everything that you learned and put together. So if I
Yeah.
felt like my release was being cut off and I was
Mm,
suffocating as an artist, if I was never going to be able to perform on a stage again. So I've definitely been there before. I've been there in 2016. It just made a year after my brother passed away. He was murdered,
sorry
and
to hear.
thank you. It's all right. And this time of year is always hard for me, so I go in and out of my little depression because it's still kind of fresh sometimes. I was like, I don't even want to do music, being that he's not here anymore.
Mm,
He was very successful as a tour manager. He did backline for a lot of artists. His murder was blasted everywhere, all over the internet and on the news. His name was Davon Pickett, and everyone knew him as Day Day. Day Day. He tour managed Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, K. Michelle, uh,
wow.
Pusha. So I could just go down the list, and it was just hard because everywhere I turned for months, it's like I couldn't even get away
Mm,
from it. So I decided to put myself in school, and I went to the Swedish Institute for Health Sciences and Technology in Manhattan, in New York, for alternative medicine and massage therapy
wow.
because I am a healer.
Yeah.
I just knew that there were more ways that I can heal other than just through my music. And
Right.
I'm a essential person. You know, I've always been told that I had healing hands when I was a kid and things like that. So I'm like, well, let me actually get educated on this. And I want my
Mm,
own chain of spies one day anyway. So
right.
I might as well, get my credentials and set
Yeah.
it up right. But I have a partial fulfillment in that. I have total fulfillment in music, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I guess both of them are healing in different ways, right? And
Yeah.
I think that you should, yeah, again, I guess we're gonna uh give love to both of us each other on this live. I think you should
Thank
be
you.
proud that you used an opportunity that was not even an opportunity, but a moment in your life that was quite deep and
Yeah.
painful at some points to actually turn that into something positive. Where
Thank you.
you've healed people in that period through something different is amazing. Through your own knowledge, you're healing yourself as well. So I think that's incredible. And yeah, I mean, sorry to hear obviously about your brother's passing, but what a
Thank
legacy
you.
to leave behind, where although was painful when you saw all those things that reminded you of him, but what a legacy, the accolades and the reminder to give somebody a memory of yourself after you're gone is incredible. So what a great, sounds like a great person, an amazing man. So
Oh, yeah.
um yeah, no, that's good. I think also you both kind of were in the space of music. Did you ever kind of work together? And, what's the advice that he gave you that you kind of have kept with you?
He kept telling me, oh God, ooh,
Oh
he kept
no.
telling me to revamp my circle. He's like your
Yeah.
unit. I'm not saying you don't have good people around you. You just may not have the best people around you that will help
Mm,
you stay in the best position. Because he
right,
knows I try to do everything myself, especially if I see someone slacking in an area. I'm not going to fuss at you. I'm not going to try to micromanage you.
right,
I'm just going to pick up the pieces and
right,
do this, that, and the third. And I'm an octopus. So, and that could be an issue as an artist sometimes because you're not able to just focus on what you need to focus on because you're trying
right.
to do too much at one time. So, he definitely got on me about, excuse me, about that. He definitely told me to stay creating no matter what I was going through and put
Yeah.
everything that I felt into my music. And when I'm ready, he will take me seriously, and I better not get another tour manager before him.
uh,
That's
that's
what he
great
told
advice.
me.
That's great advice. I think the industry is, and again, I'm a baby in this game. The industry is a tricky place to be in, right? You meet people, and I'm somebody who loves that connection. Back to the comment before. I've seen the
Hey, Kareem.
comment. Miss him every day. He didn't accept no slouching. That's good. It's good. It's good he didn't.
Yeah,
I think one of the most difficult things about COVID as well is we've lost that human connection. It's not natural to have a live, a technology based conversation. It's not human
you.
nature,
It's not.
right?
Oof.
And that's the issue, I think, for a lot of people, that they've just missed that. Like, we could have had this conversation in person and it would have been amazing, and we would have had that energy, and it's
Right.
hard to do that through technology. So I think, to the point of his advice was, the industry also is a tricky space. You get people that are positive, that aren't
Yeah.
so positive, and have the best intention, that don't have the best intention. So it's really
Right.
great that you've been able to really reinvent your life as you've gone on. I,
Thank
again,
you.
have had this issue with, when I've just met some people and I'm like, oh, I can see it. Like, I can see that they're here because they know they need something from me, but
Yeah.
I just love people. So I was like, I don't want to lose that connect, like, that human connection. And I've kind of
Yeah.
continued on, knowing the fact that maybe their intention might not be as positive as mine, and it is detrimental because it can do other things for you. It can just make you feel undervalued. You start to then self-doubt everything that you have going on. So it's so
Absolutely.
important to change your circle, and yeah, it's a great message. With your circles now, who would who are those people in your life that give you that strength, and who really encourage you with your craft?
one person is actually on this live right now. My
Right?
sister,
Patience.
Fairies
Oh,
Leak.
okay. I thought patience too.
Oh yeah,
But hi,
Patience is
Fairies
the
League.
one. She's okay. What's going on, Patience? What's going on? You just have no patience for 3 seconds to pass so that this episode could come on. So we're gonna switch it. Okay. That's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna okay. Okay. So look, how about we do this, right? How about we do this? Let's put your movie on. Because the show's not working. There you go. Boom. Boom. Look it. Look it. What is that? Is that the princess and the frog?
Kind of want to see the movie.
Right. Yay.
I love that, you know. I love that her name. Hi, Patience. She can join us. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, if you're gonna stay with mommy, you gotta let mommy do the talking, okay?
Does
If they
Patience
have
like?
any questions for you, they'll ask, okay?
Okay, I'll ask a question for Patience while she's on. Does she do anything musical? Like, does she play any music?
She had a drum set, destroyed it within three
Oh
days of her
no.
birthday. Literally destroyed it. I was like, no, you can't have the little toy drum set. You need a real deal. She, thank you. She loves to sing and hum. I've only really hear her every now and then she'll sing the actual main note, but she harmonizes everything.
Oh wow. Wow.
She harmonizes everything
That's
just
amazing.
naturally. So I
That's
know her ear
amazing.
is going to be crazy. And when she's crying, I know she's going to be a first soprano because she can
She
be in
goes
the
there.
ultraviolet range. Full
Okay.
voice, though.
Wow. Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is your sister also on the live? But is she also musical? Berry Sleep. Berry
Yeah,
Sleep.
she's
Yeah.
actually an indie artist as well. She's
Amazing.
been doing more performances this past year. I had a chance to see her perform back in the first week of September, I believe. So yeah, we're
Wow.
all pretty
Musical.
creative, and she writes as well. She writes
Incredible.
beautifully.
Incredible. Well, what also do you have going on currently? Like, do you have any projects in the pipeline? You mentioned acting at the start. Like, are we going to see you in any films? That'd be kind of cool. Any musical
Right.
projects? Oh, okay, okay.
I have some film opportunities that have come my way, and more so voiceovers, because I didn't really take advantage of that when I was younger. I had such a horrible complex and insecurity about my voice, my talking voice. Um, more, more recently in these past years, I have a benign tumor in my throat, and it makes my
Oh,
voice deeper. But naturally,
right,
my voice is, a little higher. They used to call me chipmunk and all kind of things like that. So I was like, nah, nobody's gonna take my voice seriously. I don't want to do it. But thank you. You just want my lipstick. I don't want to do it. But I'm so open to all these opportunities now. Being on the couch, and I'll keep saying this in every interview. Being on the couch, January 2021. The same time
mm,
last year, I was suffering from COVID, and I was
right,
like dying literally on my couch.
wow,
And not in a dramatic kind of way. Like I had to stay on the emergency nurse call because they were worried about my breathing because my lungs were filling up so fast with
right.
fluid. Um, but I had visions that God gave me that when I got better, this is all the work that I'm supposed to pursue.
Right. I
This
mean,
is the purpose I'm supposed to fill.
yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to hit that low to understand what your purpose is, right? You can't have everything and realize actually what's in front of you. So it's hindsight
Yes,
is a cool thing to have, but we don't
yes,
get it in the moment. So yeah,
no,
that's I'm excited for, I've said this before, your energy is amazing. Like even just
thank
watching you
you,
online, watching your lives and the messages you put out for your fans, it's incredible. And I think, yeah, it's going to be a big year for you. We do have a question.
thank you.
What is the one word you would, I think, say to yourself, maybe even
To my
also to
younger self,
Patience?
oh wow.
Maybe what's the one thing you'd advise her growing up, like in if she was to go into the music industry?
Oh my goodness. Hold on for your dear life to your passion. Don't
Right.
let anything discourage your passion. Because what you're passionate about, you'll make sacrifices for. What you're passionate about, you'll get over yourself for. You know,
Right.
what you're passionate about, you'll be so encouraged to make a living and a career out of it, so that you can always enjoy doing what you love to do, and letting
Right.
what you love to do take care of you and others.
Yeah.
Um, that's one of the main things. One of the saddest things I've ever seen was a super genius level talented individual lose their passion. And it more so happened because their passion just became their occupation. So it was
Right.
like, now I feel like I'm a slave to it rather than
Right.
I'm in love with it.
Right. Right.
That's the
Yeah.
one thing.
That's amazing. It's a good way to think. I think it's an amazing mindset to have, and I think mindset is one of the key things to have. I can see a comment by Flavio. Don't know if you know him, but I definitely don't. So I'm just gonna block you. Interesting comments, but he was maybe spreading love in a way that he doesn't
Oh,
understand. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. That's a
Yeah.
nice way to put it. Spreading love in a way that he doesn't understand. Some people only
Well,
understand disrespect and violence, you
I,
know?
I know, I know. You know what? On that note, I think it is the way you're brought up. Like, I'm very
Yeah,
blessed, I would say, to have a very loving family, a very connected
yes,
family. So I think the way I express it to other people is in that same way, how I was raised.
yeah.
So a lot of the times you do get people. I know the internet gives you, fingers. You get really comfortable on the internet, but Flavio, I hope you wanted some attention. So if you do take anything from this, I hope you can learn to express yourself in a different way. But thank you for tuning in. Um, no, so I can hear that note. I can hear the pitch. She's got
That
great
was
pitch.
effortless.
Effortless.
She didn't need any strength for that. That was easy.
Amazing. What about writing? I know you do write for a lot of
Mm.
artists. Are you currently writing for other musicians at the moment, or are you focusing on your own project?
I'm not really focused too much on my project, because as soon as I was literally like the day after they told me I didn't have to do quarantine no more, I was in the
Right.
studio recording my album. At
Wow.
least I was forcing my lungs to get strong again,
Right.
because that was the scary part. The scary part was I can't breathe. So if I can't
Mm,
breathe, how am I going to fill my lungs up to sing? Like, how am I going to do this? So I spent a good while working on my breathing exercises, and even trying to push myself to sing more. And it would hurt so bad. It literally felt like my
right.
lungs were Charlie horsing.
Right. Right.
Miserable, but I cried and sang through it, you know? And hey, I eventually got
Hey.
stronger. And
Yeah.
I finished my album in like 2 months. There's little pieces here and there that have to be fine tuned and finished, because there's like maybe two features I really want on my album.
Right.
One in particular, I'm a plug right now. I would
Okay.
like Little Mama to be on a
Wow.
song with me, and I have a I Can Love You type of concept to it. Do you remember when Mary J. Blige and Little Kim did I Can Love You?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay.
I would
That's
love
fire.
to do that. Okay, I would love
Yeah.
to do that with Little Mama, with her rapping, and even if she wanted to sing on it, because I see her, venturing more into singing now. But
Yeah.
it's very New York. It's very five boroughs in the wintertime type of big
Wow.
bubble jackets, and just vibing around each other, talking our mess about
Okay.
not a bitterness in a relationship, but it's like, I'm just gonna low key and sarcastically rob you. And because you broke my heart, now you're gonna see me stunting with your money that you didn't know I took through
Okay.
all your digital accounts. Like,
You know what? You've got the video treatment sorted as well. So this
oh,
is going to
it's
be an
there.
epic. There we go.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
that's an
there.
exclusive.
So I would love to work with Little Mama on this project. I would love, wow, to work with Kendrick Lamar on a song called Why I Do. And the
Yay.
She's looking for a reaction. You're such a little superstar. She has to be the show.
Oh, those notes.
You
I
want to
am
sing?
impressed. Do you want to sing us a song, Patience?
You want to sing? She said, no, no, no.
She's like, he doesn't, yeah, I don't have the rights yet,
Get
you
your
know?
sippy. Yes, hold on once. Ugh.
That would be
Thank you.
fire.
Relax. So yeah, and I want Kendrick Lamar on a very heartfelt record that is called Why I Do. It's about me. The verse starts with me talking to my grandmother, asking her if she remembered that she told me I was going to be great, but she has dementia. So
Okay.
she can't remember, you know, and I'm just like
Yeah.
still gonna do and fulfill all the things she spoke over me as a kid,
Mm,
even if she's not understanding what's going on, because
right.
that's part of her legacy that I have to fulfill. And
Yeah.
then the second verse, I'm talking about, you know, how my kids motivate me because they're going to have to fulfill what legacy I don't complete. And,
Right.
you know, whatever they
Yeah.
desire to do and dream to do.
That's
And
incredible.
yeah, because we don't focus enough attention on legacy more than we're focusing on generational wealth now. You
Right.
know, it's like, oh, we just got to get this money so our kids can eat and their kids and their kids' kids. And cool.
Mm,
But what is the value of the legacy more than the value of the money?
right. I think
You
it comes
know?
back to the point actually when we spoke about your brother as well. It's less about, you didn't mention he has hundreds of cars and hundreds of plaques and any of that. It was actually the the legacy he left behind. You know, we forget that actually that's what we remember people by, you know, someone's
Yes,
smile, someone's message,
yes.
someone's presence, you know. It's kind of you know, you mentioned your grandma as well. It reminds me of my own. You know, she was somebody who's, for the first time I think in my life, I would say, somebody who made me recognize aura, like
Yeah,
presence. You know,
yeah,
she spoke a different language. We didn't get to connect in that way. We didn't even have full conversations. But just her presence in a room can change everything. Just bring
yeah.
brightness, bring comfort, bring safety. And, you know, I think that's such a powerful message in the song that you mentioned, to kind of talk about someone else's legacy, but also what you want to, you know, pay forward for someone else, rather than actually I'll leave you a check, you know, because that doesn't mean
Right.
anything, you know.
Because you can
um
blow my whole legacy if my
right,
legacy is only a check.
exactly. No, that's
Like, it's really
super.
sad.
Yeah. And
It's
it's
really
sad. I think we have lost as a generation the value of family, in the way that it used to be. Like how our, you know, sometimes you get this as well when our parents talk about their lifestyle and how they used to live. It just feels so much more refreshing than this digital way we live, and this disconnected. And I know obviously COVID's made that worse, but imagine
Yeah.
the future generations not even connecting to school kids and not even talking to their peers. It's hard. So I'm excited for your record. That sounds like an amazing project. I did
Thank
have a
you.
comment from someone saying you need to do a reggae dancehall influence record. Have you done
Absolutely.
one? Have you done one before? I
I
feel like
have not. I may have
okay.
featured on certain reggae artists. I had the opportunity, and we never put the record out, to work with Sizzla. I
Oh,
worked with
okay.
Sizzla when I was like around the time, like 18, 19 years old. And he was
Yeah.
just so like crazy about me. He was like, your voice, queen, like he would just shout me out and just give me so much love and so much props. And I was like, yeah, I would love to do a record with you like that. Even Busta, because everybody knows Busta's Jamaican.
Hmm.
And I have Busta has like a catalog of me.
Oh
Prayerfully,
wow.
some of those records will come out one day. But yeah, I would definitely
That's
love to do
amazing.
a dance hall record. And I connected with a producer who's pretty popular doing Afro beats, and
Right.
I hope he doesn't bite my head up because I still have to listen to the hard drive he sent me. It's so much music, but I'm gonna take the time. As you can see, I had to take still the time
Right. It's
to listen to the
balancing.
music. Hey Bam. Oh, I just got to shout out some of my friends who are. Hey Bam, that's my bro. An
Nice.
amazing artist, singer, dancer, choreographer, all this stuff. Who else? Music Kyle, I seen you in the room. Dino, I seen you in the room. Thank y'all for coming in here.
Amazing.
You need to come and
And
get this little girl.
and yeah, I guess I'll give a shout out to Alec, who's an amazing producer actually, who does very alternative fusion music with R&B and electronic music.
Oh,
So if you
awesome.
guys are looking for a producer, he's a great, very, very unique producer. I don't think you'll find anyone like him. He also did the
Mm.
first episode on the series, so definitely go check
Oh,
that out.
really?
Yes, yes.
Definitely
Well,
will.
thank you, Yummy, for joining me today. Honestly, it's been so lovely to catch up. Hi, Patience.
It's been a minute.
She's the star of the show. She just took over. Hi.
Oh,
um,
yeah.
Excited for all your projects, and hopefully, when you are releasing any music, let's catch up on a live again, and let's see, where we're at in our energetic levels. But yeah, I'm so happy and proud of all the stuff you've achieved so far, and I can't wait to see where you go in your career in the future. Thank
Thank
you
you so
again.
much. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll be out there not too soon, but soon enough to work with Ricardo Williams again. I don't know if you're familiar
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
Ricardo, but I'm on his album R&B Isn't Dead
Oh wow. Okay,
that he
okay.
did
Yeah, yeah,
last year, year before last year.
yeah,
He
yeah,
got some
yeah.
hits on there.
Amazing, amazing. Hit me up if you're ever in the UK. That would be, yeah, that'd be cool.
You
Maybe
already
we can
know.
write together, right?
That would be dope.
That would be
I'm
dope.
looking forward to, getting more acquainted with more UK artists so that we can definitely do some more music
Yeah,
together.
there's definitely a surgence of R&B in the UK at the moment. So if you're into R&B, I think definitely, obviously, as an artist, it's his best to be.
She wanted
He
to
was like,
sing for
cut the
y'all.
live. He was like, cut the live.
She's actually singing with Princess Tiana in the background. You sang
Okay,
for them?
okay. No, no. Maybe next live. Well, thank you so much again. Hopefully we'll connect in the future, and enjoy the rest of your day.
I
Thank
sure
you.
will. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.